Murphy, and this presentation is for the University of Florida. This presentation will focus on my final project, which is the precursor for my capstone presentation. For my capstone, I'm focusing on religious inclusivity in art for Muslim students, and for this presentation, it'll be on focusing on accommodations and guided information for art teachers of Muslim students. So currently I'm in my 7th year of teaching visual arts. Here you can see some amazing artwork that my students have done over the last few years. I earned my undergrad in art education, and while I learned valuable tools like classroom management, basic art activities, and learning how to teach for different abilities, I really didn't learn how to become inclusive in terms of religious practice for my students. The idea came to me when I had a student that basically I lacked knowledge in world religions because they told me that they could not draw eyes because they had a religious objection. So 3 of the major and largest religions of the world are Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. For my capstone, I wanted to learn about the Islamic faith and how there are fundamental differences in how students who practice certain religions can learn to facilitate and practice their skills in a Western art classroom without disrespecting their religion. My capstone in this presentation focuses mainly on the Islamic religion and how to create and differentiate activities that can be implemented in various art classroom curriculums to both engage and still respect the Muslim students. Many teachers go over figure drawing. Figure drawing is one of the most broad standards that a lot of art teachers teach. We focus on understanding and teaching representational, abstract figure drawing techniques such as the proportion of the human body, facial proportions, and the human figure. Not knowing about specific religions, such as Islam, teachers have to be prepared to differentiate their lessons to accommodate all students. So in the Islamic religion, it states that under monotheism, there's only one God, referred to as Allah, and that by creating tokens of worship or idol, one can essentially be lured away to idol something else. Teaching Art to Muslim Students 2004 explains that upon a Muslim's death, known as their Day of Judgment, any creation of representational value, for example, a three-dimensional figure, the students would have to breathe life into the object. This would then be considered a sinful act as the object was not created by the hands of God. So there's also other things like social norms that are not acceptable within a classroom for a Muslim student. It's strongly discouraged and almost forbidden in the Islamic culture to essentially hold the gaze of a person of the opposite gender, even if they are a respectable person such as the teacher. The Quran repeatedly states to lower one's gaze, so an activity such as figure drawing may pose an issue for a Muslim student. One way to provide differentiation and to show respect for the student's culture is to discuss with the student the overall academic learning gains. The purpose of this assignment is to be able to help a student build upon their perceptual, compositional, and expressive drawing skills, but to also accommodate the student's religion. Rather than to draw to create life, the teacher could adapt the lesson with maybe a wooden mannequin, and this can still offer the student with a similar experience. Another modification to your lesson, if you taught like 3D, could be to create abstract figures, or to give the student the option to focus on form rather than content. If the final product could still be met with as much rigor and dedication by the Muslim student as a non-religious student, then why wouldn't you give the student the same opportunity to explore and build their skills? Another activity that can be introduced to create inclusivity within the art classroom is using Sumi Ink. A collaborative activity to foster human connection through the creation of art. You can ask students of all ages and religious backgrounds to join together to work on a single sheet of paper to collectively draw upon it. So these are photos of my students building on other students' drawings. Personally, I think this is one of the best parts about this photo is that these are students who are Muslim, who have varying needs, who have varying educational accommodations, but you cannot tell that by looking at these photos, let alone looking at the art. Calligraphy is also another activity that can help explore a basic element of Islamic art. Here you have images of Islamic calligraphy, which could be used to inspire students to create their own artistic calligraphy. I hope that some of these lesson adaptations and ideas can be useful to you in your teachings, and I hope to gather more resources and tools to share with you in my capstone this fall. Thanks for watching.